Hello, this is Wayne Kurtz. I hope you're having a good day today. I thought I'd update everyone with my experiences at the first ever DECA Ironman triathlon in Sicily over the last 2 weeks. We had a good contingent of athletes from around the world, heavily populated, of course, with some of the fast and actually extremely talented European athletes in the ultra-distance triathlon world. But I just thought I'd give a few highlights and comments. The race was actually set in a place called Enna, which is also called Peruso, which is in Sicily, so the southern part of Italy. And what's interesting is, unlike some of the other DECAs I've done in the past, the uniqueness was after we finished our pool swim, we actually had about a 4 to 5 mile ride up kind of a climb to get to the race circuit, which was a race car track, really where they use the course for racing Lamborghinis and Ferraris and things of that nature. So it really added a little element of doing a little bit of climbing every day, as we did 1 Ironman per day for 10 straight days. So it was a little different than Mexico in the past, but I think everyone enjoyed it, just to loosen the legs up after the swim and get out of the saddle, because knowing that you'd be on a flat course for the remaining 110 miles or whatever was left, or 100 miles. The course actually worked out really well, I think, from a logistics perspective with the crews. The crews had their pit area very similar to a race car track where you had the pits. And one thing that I think every athlete who participated in the race, and I think we started with 21 athletes and I think 12 finished, I think those were the numbers, was the unbelievable food. For those of you who are Italian, it was absolutely amazing, the different types of foods that we had during the race, pre-race, during the race, post-race, breakfast, and it was a welcome change, I think, for most of the athletes, with the vast variety. The couple things, learning pain, growing pains. I'm sure the race director Giorgio, who did a wonderful job putting all of this together, they will incorporate some of the ideas from the athletes to make it better in the future. The understanding is it will probably be moved until 2013 to northern Italy, and then come back to Enna in Sicily probably the year after. So there'll be probably 1 year off and then come back. But I think a great learning experience for the race director, crews, and Giorgio having a lot of experience personally racing these for many years, and it was, I think, very thankful for all of the athletes that he put it on for us, because there really was no DECA this year since the Monterrey, Mexico race was canceled. So from that perspective, I think it went well. A few of the highlights personally, we experienced unbelievable weather. Not that I have ever experienced anything like this in the past with all of my racing, but we had multiple days of golf ball size hail that covered the race course, 45 mile per hour winds on the bike and the run with driving rain many days. So it made it interesting. We probably had 3 or 4 good days of sun, but the weather became a factor. And then, of course, as we say, the DECA gods really made it interesting on day 10. You're on the last day, we're ready to finish the last Ironman, and we had the worst weather. It was cold, in the 40-degree Fahrenheit temperature range, driving wind and rain the entire day. So it did make day 10, which is usually a celebration, a bit more challenging. But it wouldn't be such a tough race if we didn't have those elements, for sure. So I think everyone embraced it. Personally, the only challenge I had, and I've made some posts on Facebook, was my first experience with having an injury in a race where I had an inflamed sheathing on my shin. So the sheathing that covers the shin bone had swollen up pretty bad with severe pain, and the solution was, and I think a good value add for all of you out there who are doing long distance running races as an example, is the impact of that foot, continually to hit the same way on the road. We had a little bit of camber on the road, so you're going the same way for hours and hours on end. It took a toll on that shin area, and the solution was I had 2 days where I was only able to walk the marathon. So I slugged through 8-hour marathons Thanks to Rick, my crew, and Jan, my wife, they kind of kept telling me, well, we only have a few more hours left of this mess, but I was glad to get through it. But the solution was I had another crew member's family tape, kinesio tape, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it the right way, but some of this elastic tape she put on the front of my shin, and I used a full compression sock. In the past, I've normally just used the sleeve, just the sleeve that goes over the calf area, and I mainly used it for recovery purposes. But when I put the full sock on that I actually got from another athlete, and that's what makes the DECA so great. Everyone helps out everyone, and it is very competitive, of course, but everyone is out there for everyone else as well to get to the finish line. What was helpful was when I put the full sock on with the tape underneath, it really pulled away a lot of the swelling, and by the next day, and I slept with the socks as well, the swelling had gone down, the pain was subsided a little bit with some ibuprofen, and I was able to run the last 3 days of the race, which was helpful. So some food for thought for those of you doing any long distance running specifically. Take a look at the full compression sock, not just the sleeve, because it was dramatically better than the sleeve. The sleeve was just bunching up all of the swelling in one area. So something to keep in mind. Experience like no other. I always say to everyone, there's nothing like the DECA. It's 10 Ironmans. You can do one per day for 10 days or the continuous version. Either way, they are epic races, and they take you through many ups and downs, but I think that's why most of us who do these crazy things enjoy it. No different than a 100-mile running race or a 50-mile running race or some long event, cycling or whatever that nature. Those are the things you remember the most, along with the great support from the crews, the great support from the race director team, and more importantly, getting to meet a lot of new athletes. There were a lot of folks there at this race that I had not met before. So you build that bond, especially when you're racing with someone for 10 days. So this was number 3 for me, third DECA. I plan on doing many more. Right now, though, it's plenty of time for recovery until 2012. I hope all of you had a good final races. We had the Hawaii Ironman last week. There were 100-mile running races last week. And for those of you who are coming up to your final races, enjoy, and hopefully you set some personal bests. I will talk with you soon. Thanks.